Yeah, it's on your page, Gabe.
No, I'm on it.
Now it's in live in Minnesota Airsoft Association.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, everyone, for being tolerant. We did do some quality, the best interview questions, the most professional they could have been. That was in the first 20 minutes. We'll see what we can do about getting another recording of that. But we are here, Alex, Cobra Alex, and Gabe from the Minnesota Airsoft Association here with Rich Cuddihy, local legend.
Yeah, okay.
Old man in the helmet, as like some of us like to call him. So we talked, Rich, and there is two parts to this now. So we'll release two sections of video and share it so everyone can see it. We were talking about Rich's history. He's been playing a while. How he started, how he got into the national games.
National Milsim. Yep.
And from that, a lot of it just sounded like being there and being willing to volunteer to start doing things, whether that be leading a squad, leading a platoon. You know, that's what gets you noticed.
Attitude.
Great attitude. Right?
Yep. Even when you're losing, the whole aspect of airsoft is to have fun,
Right.
And with good leadership, you get everybody involved in what you're doing, and we can all have fun.
Yeah. And then that led to, once you started volunteering more, then at some point, Sal at Third Coast said, "Hey, I'd like you to become staff, and or I'd like you to become a regular,
a sponsored player,
right? A sponsored player." And that's how the sponsorship started.
Yep.
In your relationship with Third Coast, and you said you go to 6 to 8 Third Coast Airsoft games.
I go to 6 to 8 major milsims.
So kind of depends.
Yeah,
games.
I try to
National
do.
games, okay.
I've only missed maybe one or two of the Third Coast games in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I remember you saying that, and
Yeah.
and that is a commitment of resources, time, money, like all of those things.
Those guys are everywhere.
Yeah.
Mississippi, Texas, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina. They go around. They used to have a game in Chicago. We're looking for.
Yeah,
a
I know.
Midwest
There's
AO.
we don't want to release anything, but like there people are always looking for new venues.
Yep.
What other major national game organizers have you played with? I know we mentioned John Liu and the Lion Claws events. We are all John is the OG, right? So everybody knows John. Appreciate him. Who else have you played?
Oh boy, I've been with. I did my first Centurion game earlier this year. That's more LARPing than airsoft.
Yeah.
But it was an incredible experience. I've been with Mir Tactical. I've done a bunch of their games. American Milsim. We've done MASS, the Missouri Airsoft Simulation Site. I've done games with them. Who else? There was one, I forget the name of them. They were doing the first games out there at the asylum in Wisconsin, Demented Justice.
Yeah.
I forget the name of that company. I played 3 or 4 of their events. They were the same ones doing the games down in Iowa, in Davenport at the school, Apollo Rising, those games. And then I've done a lot of private games. Probably 12 to 15 of them over the last 15 years. And that's just people who have property. I used to do Nerf games up in Cambridge. We'd run around in this old, what was it? It was 60,000 square foot warehouse, and we'd be shooting each other with Nerf guns. So yeah, I've done quite a bit. It's fun.
Well, and I think that's the more you get known, the more you get invited to things. Hey, we're going to do this thing. We're not sure if it's going to happen again. We're testing a site, maybe.
Sure.
Testing sites.
Yeah, anything that's a base, there's already kind of a built-in, like people. The military's doing it. So like, okay, it's a bunch of goofballs with airsoft guns is not that big of a stretch. But there's other places like asylums, schools, malls.
Yep.
A lot of that
played
stuff.
in all of them.
Yeah.
We played one game. Well, you guys go up there to the Air Force base up there, Air Force Station up in Michigan for Sky Shield, Operation Sky Shield from Mir. We played at an abandoned airport in Texas. Oh God, this would have been 10, 12 years ago, and that was a private game. That was a lot of fun. Playing in a terminal that's wide open and in circles, and then we did the what was it? the mass game at the Air Force Station down in Illinois. I forget the name of the town that it's in, but that basically was just a huge hangar with like office buildings all the way around it in a U shape, and that was a hell of a game. I was surprised. We had quite a few people there. I thought it would be overcrowded, and it wasn't. The housing areas on military bases are fun to play in, and the game is what you make of it, you know. So I mean, even in the woods,
that just comes with years of being this person who you are. You just don't magically appear in those games, you know. Like you gotta
no,
you gotta be the person you are. You get invited to these things, and it doesn't happen to us. You know, it happened to me. Like I got to go play at some of these places. Like, you know, back when I first started, I got invited to Ripley, right? Camp Ripley.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I got invited to Camp Ripley, and man, I was like, that actually got me hooked. The Airsoft actually. And
their CACTF up there is one of the best mount sites in the country. I've played on several of them, and they have got a good one there. So that was a good game. That's when I met most of you MAA guys were there. Yeah.
As you're watching, let us know how the sound quality is. We see some people on chat. If there's any questions you have for Rich, shoot them over. We'll see what we have time for as we're moving forward.
Matt Brown, Rango. That was my call sign when I was
back in the day.
with the sheep, the black sheep.
Black sheep.
The black sheep squad. I still have the patch, Matt. One of my first team patches in Airsoft.
If I put you on the spot,
Okay.
do you have a favorite game you've ever played?
Yes, I do. Operation Mountain Viper, a Third Coast game. It was in the mountains above Alamogordo, New Mexico. Phenomenal AO.
nope.
Yeah, we were up there quite a ways. Rich Cuddihy, that was his first game with me.
Yeah.
He decided he wanted to come with me, and I says, "This is where we're going. I need an XO, so you're going to run with me." And he played a really good role at the XO. It was a force on force, and we were, I don't know what we were at, 6,000 feet up there, I guess?
So you're a mile high.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I get sick every time I go to New Mexico.
This place, the AO, it's a big crater on the top up there. It used to be an apple orchard, so there were buildings and old vehicles and stuff there right in this big bowl or whatever. And, it was a big valley, and the BBs would just fly. They would fly. The air was so thin, they'd go 200 feet, just straight take off. It was about 100 on 100, and I was commanding the tan side for Western. Baker Company wasn't involved in it. It was just one big group. And we were losing at first. We came back, but the AO was phenomenal. I mean, you had to use the hills. If you had to hump to the top of the hill, you were just exhausted. But just the gameplay there were members of the Colorado National Guard, Texas National Guard that were playing. I remember he said something, all these guys that are playing with you, they're infantry guys, man, you know, more brawn than brains or something like that. I remember that stuck with me, but just the overall gameplay was phenomenal all weekend. The objectives were there. It got so hot during the day they would stop working, so they were using bowls, a tan bowl on top and a green bowl if you seized the objective, you had to switch the bowls. It was great. It worked out. But it was just a great game. Everybody who was there, the sponsors, everything, they really bought into the game. I mean, we really knew what we had to do, and the guys went out and did it. It was a pleasure to be their commander in that game. It really was an honor. Those guys really kicked some ass when I needed them to.
I feel like that's also something that, and if I can say this, having most recently worked with you as Baker 6, and we were on your platoon there.
You were one of my squad leaders.
I was,
Yep.
I'm not sure. I'm good at rear guard security.
Of course you are.
You are the type of person who people got to be in the right mindset, but you are inspiring. And when I say this, I mean, you won't ask anybody to do what you're not willing to do.
Right,
and you're
right.
thinking about the game.
Objective focus, mission
Objective focus. That you said that a couple times.
Yep.
Like that's one of your things. Win, lose, draw. Let's see what we can do. I got a mission. We're gonna complete that mission.
Yeah.
Not always sexy. Sometimes is.
Yeah, it can be really fun.
Right.
Yeah, it can be.
So do you feel like in your experience, let's talk about Third Coast because that's most recently when we played with you, that the attitudes of people who play with you, that they get it.
Oh,
that
absolutely.
Like
yeah.
you don't have we all have there's always going to be a gun jockey, right? Who's like, I'm just going to do whatever, and that's fine. They paid to do the game, but do you feel like when you're commanding, people are like, yeah, I got what you're going for. I'll do that with you. Let's do this.
When I'm leading on the field, I'm trying to instill a sense of victory to these guys. Hey, we need to do this so we can win the game. Okay, even though there's no points, there's no cash at the end, there's nothing. It's just bragging rights. At the end of the day, if you've busted your ass to achieve your objectives, it makes you feel good. Let's be honest. When you do a job and you do it well, everybody's got that feeling of empowerment. That's what I want my guys to have. I call them the varsity. These are my guys that follow me all over the country. And there's 8 to 10 of them. And these guys really understand what it is that we're trying to do, what I'm trying to do. It's objective focus. Understand what needs to be done. Here's how we're going to do it. If you have a better idea, tell me. And let's go out and do it. It's that simple, but it's infinitely more complex. You've got to have everybody on the same page. And if they're not, if there's something they don't understand, I don't have a problem with taking the time to set them aside and say, here's how we're going to do this. This is what you need to do. Discipline in the military is key. You do your job and you depend on everybody else to do theirs. That's what it's all about.
Do you feel like that's an expectation you have of people who play with you?
My varsity, yeah. The pork chop platoon.
That's your preference, right?
Yep,
right.
yep. They'll do. You know, it's nice. I have really good people. Rich Cuddihy, Tim Roloff, Ryan Voigt. I've got phenomenal people. Rod Simonson. If I need something done, they will know. They know how to do it. And if they don't, they'll ask me or they'll ask somebody else or they'll get together. You know, everybody says, hey, you're good. You do really well. You must be really smart. No, I surround myself with people who are better or smarter than me. They just make me look good.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's also because I was going to ask you, what does victory look like to you? And you've already kind of alluded to it.
Yeah.
It's not the win or lose. Like, obviously, that's part of it. Like, you want to win.
Not as much as you would think. Yeah.
But it's...
You want to win, but
it's the
at the
objectives.
end, you know what? In the end, it's all about having fun.
Well, and what's the line? You can do everything right and still lose.
Yes.
Like, sometimes it's all points. Like, that one spot we didn't get, we got all the others. And also, you might not be part of that mission.
Correct.
You're doing other objectives. Did my squad, did my group, did my team, did we finish the things we went out to do? Yes, we did.
Correct.
That is a victorious day in the eyes of Rich Cuddihy.
Yeah, exactly. We do an AAR every once in a while. We'll sit down and say, hey, guys, here's the after-action review. This is what we did right. This is what we did wrong. How do we make it better? How do we fix it next time? How do we completely avoid it? That's all part of us getting together. You guys were talking about, you guys don't want to make the road trips. We were talking before we started here. But, man, when we're driving back from these games, we talk about everything that happens.
Yeah.
And it's a great time to unwind and pass everything along. You mentioned my expectations. I says it's about having fun. But at the end, it doesn't matter if you want to lose, just so long as you try your hardest. I know that sounds like Little League bullshit and everything, but you know what?
Gold stars for
when
everybody.
it comes to this, if I had the little foil stars to stick on your forehead, well, I wouldn't do that. Some of these guys have them already. No, it's just, let's do it. And if we can't do it, hey, let's die trying. Because that's Airsoft. If you ain't dying, you're not trying. If the game is put together well, meaning planned by Third Coast or Centurion or Lion Claws, if the game is done right, it will drive the two forces together and there will be that contact, you know. Like you said before, some people are just there to get into that contact, and it's a lot higher than 50%. They're just there. I spent $600 on this loadout, and I got a new rifle, and I'm going to shoot somebody. For me, historically playing this game, only about 40% of the people are out there busting their ass and getting it done. So we win these games with 40%. The other 60%, they get tired. They're off the field. They don't want to do that. They don't want to guard the boxes. I'll send my guys out, go do this, and I'll sit on the box. I don't mind pulling guard duty. That's part of the game. You know, you can't be nonstop action the entire time, and a lot of people need to understand that.
I was gonna say take a nap.
Yeah,
in the middle of the game.
Which is That's Alex's favorite thing to do.
Underneath the pine tree, 100 feet from the
No,
box.
I'm in the parking lot falling asleep
Yeah.
somewhere.
Do you want to ask some questions?
Um,
So for everybody interested, we have questions that we prompted Rich with, but we're also I watch the chat too if anybody has any questions.
Iron Legion. Woo!
Yes,
Nick,
thank you
love
everybody for
brother.
joining in. I'm not sure how many people are here, but again, we're here with Rich Cuddihy from Minnesota, but known nationally, predominantly with Third Coast, but with other larger airsoft milsim games as well. We're just kind of wanting to get to know Rich a little bit better, why he does airsoft, what he loves about airsoft, and we can probably get into some of the more like general questions.
I was gonna make a comment. You know how he was saying leading people. You know, like I guess of all the years I've played with Rich, like I can't remember like where you've actually like like we're like the leader. We were just pretty much bullshitting or like, playing games. But like I think our first time
It's been a while.
and yeah, it's been many years. And I think Starburst was the first time actually like he was actually a commander that like.
Yeah, I think for people who know Rich more locally,
At least for me, and
Yeah.
what I'm trying to get at is like it was really, it was really great playing with him, just watching him, and like he kind of, like it's I wouldn't say inspired me, but
Right, I'm trying to do that though. That's one of the things I like to do.
I was happy to play with you. I was like it was fun just like just to be in that atmosphere with you, and like yeah, we were doing rear D a little, but I thought it was a great experience.
All part
if
of the
anybody's
game.
ever
well, that actually transitioned to one of our questions. Let's say we have people watching who don't know you as Baker Six, don't know you as Pork Chop Six, don't know you as someone. They just as another shooter, but you have this experience. For someone who's looking and going, I want to take the next step. I want to go to a national game. Maybe money's not a problem. Like, what are the things people should be thinking about when they're going, I want to jump up to a larger national milsim game? What are the highlights? What are the lowlights? What are the caveats? Just think about if someone walked up to you at our local Twin Cities Airsoft field and said, "Hey, I know you play a lot of Third Coast. What's the next game you're going to? I'd love to go. How do I prepare? Tell me what to do, Rich."
The first thing I would tell you is it's expensive. Okay, the travel, the ticket itself, your weapon systems if you've got it up there, whatever you're going to carry or what have you. So I make sure if they want to go with us, they can afford it. I've actually dragged some kids along with me before who didn't have money. One of them ran out of money halfway through the trip, and we had to support them. And that's not going to happen again. I'm not going to make any of my guys have to pay for somebody who can't pay his own way. So look at the costs, the travel. How are you going to get there? If you're going to ride with us, we're going to split the gas. Hotel costs. If you want to camp, it's usually almost always free at a Third Coast event. There is only one AO that I know of where they did not allow camping, free camping, and that was because the owners didn't want it. The cost of food, the cost of ammunition, grenades. Let's be honest, grenades are $15 a piece now. If you can afford it, then hey, let me know if you want to go. Here's the date. Here's where we're going. We got Operation Starburst coming up in October. Here's the dates. Here's where we're going to stay. Here's a projected cost. If you can afford it, come with us.
So that's really the logistical answer.
Correct.
If someone were to say, "Hey, I've only been playing for 6 months. I've only played a year, one season. Would I suffer if I go to this game?" What would you say to something like that? Like people who go, "Oh, milsim. Oh, milsim's like this, this highly attained state you get from,
Tier
meditation and tier one. Like,
Sure.
do I have to be an operator?" What would you say to someone who's like, "I just don't think I'm that good"?
There are, you know what? I will sit down with a person who's thinking that they want to go, and I'll say, "Here's what it is. Here at wherever we're at, this is just a shooting up game. But in that one, you've got to embrace not only the shooting aspect, but embrace the suck. We might not be in contact with somebody for an hour. We might be pulling guard duty. It might be raining and pouring down rain. It might be 99 degrees and you're sweating your ass off. Are you ready for that? And then, by the way, when all this shit's going on, there is a mission that needs to be done. And if I'm going to drag you down there with me, I want you on the field. I don't want you sitting in the parking lot.
Yeah.
If you're injured or something, that's a different story, but you can't handle it, I don't want you there. I mean, if you're not going to have fun or put in the effort, yeah. So I try to make sure that they have the correct mindset, they can afford it, and see if they're interested. Here's what we're going to be doing. There's an objective box, and it's out in the middle of nowhere. Here's the map of what we're going to be doing. We need to assault this objective. We need to seize it, and we need to flip it over so it's counting points for our side, and then we need to guard it because the enemy's going to come. We'll destroy them. The enemy will go off, and then they'll come back and they'll try to do to us what we just did.
But based on what you've just said, experience isn't necessarily a factor. It's
No.
mindset.
Exactly. I can do more with somebody who's got the right mindset than somebody who has no experience. If you have never shot a gun before in your life, airsoft is easy. Just point and shoot, and you can see the BB. That's all I need you to do. I'll tell you what to do, and hopefully over time you will develop your own sense of how to play the game, how to win. You'll get that mindset. Yeah, you're exactly right. Mindset is a much bigger aspect.
But I think that's important when we're talking. And in previous cons, so the Minnesota, we have an airsoft convention. We've done panels, and people are like, "Well, I don't know if I could play that game." And it's not really the play of the game; is more the mindset of the game. That's what I'm getting from you.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm trying to erase their self-doubts.
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
I want them to know, hey, it doesn't matter how good you are. You're part of a team, and there's no I in team.
right.
So we'll teach you.
So I think that's a valuable lesson for anybody who's new, thinking about going to a national game, wherever it happens to be. Money, can you travel to it? Good, that's off the table. Once that is off the table, after that, it's really just being willing.
Yep.
Willing to participate.
Yep. And that's one of the most important aspects. It doesn't matter how good you are. I don't care. As long as you can afford to be there, I will show you the way.
Yeah.
I will, just get behind me. You guys have seen my patch. It says follow me on the back of every one of my vests. Every one of them. I have 11 or 12 different sets. Yeah, I know. Follow me. I will show you the way. What's it? I know the way? Is that patch?
Yeah.
I know the way? Yeah. I will do that. Yeah.
I was gonna mention too, like Rich isn't a great guy to, he's not gonna yell at you or anything like that. I mean, I don't know. I've never seen.
We all
like
make mistakes. Your
No.
pencils have erasers just like mine. Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm
Like
not
I said,
gonna
I've had a
blame you
great
for that.
experience with everything. Dealing with games with you and being there. I don't know. I just think it's.
We had good games. Yeah.
We've had good games, and I've had a great experience. And, yeah, as a new player, if you are planning on doing anything like that, yeah, Rich is a great guy to, help support you in it or help you get in that direction of.
Yeah. Hit me up if you're looking to come to a national milsim game and you've never been to one before. Go ahead, guys. Reach out to me via Messenger. I'm happy to help you. That's how Josh Reike, I don't know if you're watching, that's how he got involved. Josh is a member of the Minnesota National Guard, a phenomenal player. He is one of my squad leaders now. He just sent me a message one day saying, hey, are these videos I'm seeing on YouTube, Pork Chop, are they yours? And I'd like to come out and play. We set up a date. He came out to Twin Cities Airsoft, and I watched him play. He's really good. And next thing I know, 2 years later, he's been to a bunch of milsims with me all over the country. And yep.
And we mentioned this earlier in our non-streaming recording, that you're also approachable.
Yes.
Like, you can usually find Rich with his easy up, his very elaborate easy up with all his supplies, but like he's easily approachable, and that's kind of your thing too.
You got a flag too, don't you? You got a big pork chop.
Yeah. We're working on another one. Yeah. By now, the Pork Chop platoon is pretty well known, especially in Minnesota, and I do get approached a lot. The big thing, I think I turned some people off is with the money, but when they're asking. But it's like, hey, try the smaller fields first. If you enjoy the more objective based aspect of the game, come to see me. I'll explain it to you, and we'll go from there.
Well, and so in the previous video that Alex and I did, which was for Starburst for Fort Hood, which we flew to, between I spent $1,200 to do that game. That was food, hotel, flights. And for me, at my age, at my time, like that was fine. That was totally reasonable. But if you hear $1,000
Yeah.
and you're like,
$1,000 is a lot to like. Yeah, that's a big.
to a 20 to
For a
25-year-old
weekend.
for a weekend,
Yes,
right? Like
yes.
that there is an investment. So
Big
maybe
turnout.
looking at the ones that are maybe a little bit closer, maybe ones where that drive maybe isn't so like it's not a 14-hour drive, it's a 5-hour drive, something like that. So
14-hour days.
yeah, like that's
Like back when I first started, when $1,000, like oh my god, like whenever like an op that was local, like when I say local, like 2 states over or a state over,
yeah.
like we all jumped on it. Like any Lion Claw game that was within the neighboring states, we were all going to them.
Sure.
Like because we could all like in some degree afford it, and we were all staying in hotels together. And I remember going to Nopamine.
There's a lot of ways
We
to,
had 4
to
people in a hotel
split
room.
costs and share things. And yep. There's
Yeah,
a lot
you
of
know,
ways
yeah,
to do it.
so you can make it happen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But try and like I said, like stomaching $1,000 is real hard to do. But like if you can get to a local game with a bunch of your friends, that really lessens the burden.
Well, and if
You're
you
right.
say 1,000, you can probably do it for 500. You're
Yeah.
just going to do it. You're going to do it the old-fashioned way. You're going to cram 6 people into a truck, and you're going to have your gear strapped in however you can, and you're going to sleep on each other's laps and on the floor. But you'll make it happen if you want to. So there are other ways to do it. But money is 100% a factor in this game,
Yes, it is.
and it's not a pay to win. It's a pay to be a standard. Like
Sure,
a
sure,
lot
that
of the
makes sense.
games, a lot of the National Milsim games, and I'm transitioning into one of your favorite things is like there's expectations of uniforms, and I would say locally we have people who enjoy doing their uniforms, but when you even propose a green versus brown, you're gonna have people who are like, well, what if I got black? Can I wear black? No, you can't wear black. But like, you have to be prepared for some level of investment just to be true to what the game is.
Yep.
And
Those rules are there for a point.
Yeah.
There's a reason. And like I said, when you get everybody following the rules and everybody's doing what they're supposed to do, the game is so much better.
Right.
It's so much better.
Well, and this is where I'll say we've all been to a game, or those of you who have been to a larger game, there's always that one guy who wore multicam arid. And we're like,
yes.
I can't tell when he's sweating if that was green or brown, so I got shot. Now he's upset because he got shot. And I'm like, dude, you could have wore the really clearly green or the really clearly brown, but you decided to do something different, and you paid the price.
Yeah, that happens a lot too.
Now,
Especially
there's
with
always somebody
newcomers.
with the one wrong, like it's not even on the list of camos, and yet they still wear it, and they somehow they still get in.
Third Coast has a rule matching tops, bottoms, and headgear. Now, the headgear doesn't have to, if it's tan, it can just be tan. It doesn't have to be the multicam or whatever. But there's always somebody who shows up with a green helmet. Always.
Yeah.
And then I've got to go over and say, hey, you need to change your helmet or paint it or put green or brown tape over it or something because we're going to lose points for that. They don't ever tell anybody, no, you can't play. But they're going to gig that side, and they take those points away. The guys who are in tennis shoes, they're supposed to be wearing boots.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
for
it's
your
a
own
tennis shoe
safety.
thing?
Yeah, you shouldn't be wearing tennis shoes. That's
No
one
one's
of the
ever
rules
yelled
I
at me
agreed
for
with.
tennis shoes.
Really?
Well, I wear
Well,
If
not
you're
on
at a
the-
third
not
at a third
larger
coast
games.
game, they're
I
not
spray
going
paint
to.
them tan.
They might say something to you, but they're going to take points away from you. So.
Well, and I think that's also an interesting thing for people to be aware of, that there are rules like that.
Yep.
But also, you should be ready for that type of thing if you're going to take that next step.
You go onto the Third Coast website and they've got their SOP up there,
Yes.
and from there, and that basically lines up all of the rules that don't change from none of that. And they're pretty good about putting out an operations order a week or two before the event that outlines everything else as well.
Well, and I don't know if
So-
Sal's on or anybody else who runs larger games, but in every post that ever exists from every Milsim organizer of here is our rule set.
Yep.
You will always have someone who says, I read this rule set, but can I also do this?
Yep. There's always
There's
those
always that
questions.
one guy who's trying to nickel and dime something.
You know what I
There
want?
was none of that for what was it? The Scorpion game we played at the Air Force Base in Illinois. There was no SOP put out. There was no op board. There was no nothing. Just come, and these two sides are against each other, and they were making it up as they went along.
I was gonna say the one thing I liked about when we were at Starburst, where they were like, they all gave everybody
The map and the handout in the front.
And the rules.
That's the
Like, if
only
you have
one
a-
that does that. Too.
If you have
It's crazy.
a question, read this first.
Yep.
That's very specifically what they said. If you have a question, look at this list. If it's not on this, consider whether or not it's a question important enough to ask, and then ask us.
And I'll go even further and say, if you've got a question because it's something you don't understand, please ask it. I mean, the only stupid question is the one that's not asked, even if you don't understand it. I mean, people will read it and they'll go through it back to bottom.
Dissect it.
And it's, and they think into it, they think too
What
much,
if?
or they just don't
Yeah,
get it. Or can we bend this? I'm good at bending rules, Sal. I didn't zip tie that objective box, but I don't break them. So, and I tell everybody, if it's not specific in there, it just depends on how far you want to bend that rule, You want to bend it, don't break it, don't bend it, So, yeah.
Well, let's get into some higher level questions.
Sure.
How many uniforms, full, complete, fully Rich Cuddihy uniforms do you have?
I have 12 different camouflage pattern sets, and it's not just the uniform. It's the vest,
Rig.
the headgear,
whole deal?
the whole thing, top to bottom. Yeah.
They all
There you
fit?
go. Challenge. Anybody over 12? Full uniforms.
Challenge.
Not just tops, bottoms, lids, but your gear. Right?
Everything,
And that's something you said it earlier. That is one of your things.
Yeah,
If you start
I'm very
something, you're
nerdy.
gonna finish it out.
Yeah, I'm
Goggles?
looking
Are the
for
goggles
everything.
matching?
Yes, everything matches. Everything matches. Everything matches. I mean, I'm anal about everything. I mean, even the rails on the top of the helmet have to match. I've spent hours online looking for this stuff. Everything's got to be perfect.
So that is specifically
And
your
just
OCD.
terrible.
And you didn't spray
Yes.
paint it. You got the actual.
No, there's
You
nothing
actually got
painted
white.
or the white. No,
or
I
the actual
sold
tan.
just a little bit about that multicam Alpine loadout. That stuff's not readily available. At least it's starting to come on some of the sites like AliExpress. I paid. I'm not even going to tell you how much money I had to have. I paid to have those pouches made for that vest. I found a white vest online, and all the pouches are multicam Alpine. There's a company out there called Grim Hunter Tactical. They're in the Northeast. They do incredible work. If you get a chance, take a look at their grimhuntertactical.com. They did all my pouches. They did all that stuff for my vest, and it was phenomenal. It cost me an arm and a leg.
But
you
you're at
know
the
what?
point where you wanted to finish that
That's
loadout.
what it is.
How cool do
Yes.
you look?
Oh, yeah. I'm the shit. I'm just going to say that right now. I'm the biggest nerd. I am. I look for everything. I even got watch covers. You guys have seen
Oh no,
them.
I love those
Yeah.
watch covers. Yeah,
I've
I'm
got
looking-
watch covers that are, I mean, top to bottom. I'm just really anal about, I want everything to match.
Yeah.
Schmitty, if you're watching, he gives me shit about it all the time. Yeah. Gucci Airsoft is what he calls me.
We all have our things.
Yeah,
There's
I
nothing wrong with it.
It's my hobby.
Yeah.
That's all I do.
Favorite piece of gear? You just talked about 12 uniforms, fully kitted out. What is your favorite piece of gear? It's got to be with you every time you go.
Oh boy.
Let's not say rifle, right? Like that. That's already
no.
like that's.
Let's play. When it comes to the term cosplay, okay, this is actually cosplay.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
dressing up and everything, and people will argue that term. But my favorite piece of gear is the uniform. I love to get dressed up and be nerdy. I just love that. When I first started playing, I said to myself, I want to be unique. I want people to be able to recognize me. The PASGT helmet, the goggles, and the mask, I have that same configuration for all 12 loadouts. Everybody knows. I get it from everybody. I always know it's you. I can tell you on the other side of the field. That's my,
I made.
I love
It's
that.
the ACUs.
I mean,
I
I made
know.
the joke that, like the promo thing we did. Not everybody knows your face because a lot of the time you're wearing the mask.
Yep.
So I did try to find one. I think we talked, and you were like, "It's always that mask." And I was like, "Okay, I'll try to find some pictures with the mask on so people
it's
know."
not the mask. I think it's the helmet. I think that helmet. You just don't. You see people wearing it once in a while, but not with the same wraparound goggles and everything. That was another thing for that Alpine loadout. The white goggles made by. I think I paid $250 for them things. Those Belay ones. Oh my god.
And here you got guys who are.
I hope my wife's not watching.
Yeah,
Hang up. Hang up.
Don't talk about prices.
She
He
has
meant
no
$20.
idea. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
yeah. She has no idea how much money I spend. On
It was
this
kind of
stuff.
like that post I made a long time ago, like the e-bike one. Where like I did an e-bike post where I added up every single, like every amount I've
Yeah,
spent
for in a year.
in a year.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
just like, oh my
Or
god.
you can spend hours upon hours going through websites and sales sites just looking for that one piece of gear that matches. You know,
Yeah,
the one little
yeah.
bandage pouch or yeah.
Well, and for people who
I've
aren't
done that.
aware, like there's a lot of custom makers. There's some great makers out there.
Yes.
But if they say we're gonna do a limited run of X, and it's gonna be on sale this Friday, you
Jump
better
on
have
it.
the money and you better jump on it.
Jump on it.
Don't think
Yep.
about it.
Mhm.
What, in your opinion, is? Let's go for your, let's say, 15 years. In
Yep,
your
yep.
15 years, what has been one of the most innovative piece of equipment that you were like, wow, that's a game changer? That really changed something. Or if you have a couple things. Like,
Two of them. There's
okay.
two of them. Yeah. I actually did reviews on the MAA website for both of them,
Yep.
our Facebook page for both of them. The first one was the Odin Sidewinder, made by Odin Innovations.
That's a good one.
That piece of equipment changed the game for me on the field. It was always, if your mags were empty, you needed to find a place to be able to and load them up. To be able to put 150 rounds in 4 cranks in like 6 seconds into your mag, it completely changed the tactical environment. The firefights lasted longer. They were more intense. Everybody who had one, you were just waiting for him to, empty out his 6 mags and start reloading before you would push him. You know, that piece of equipment changed everything on the field. And the second piece, I sweat like crazy, and I know a lot of people do. And when you play in airsoft, you got so much gear on and all that. Everybody sweats. But goggle fog. So the X-Fog system, the anti-fog system, that completely changed everything for me. All of a sudden, I didn't have to keep doing this all the time, sticking your finger up there and wiping the goggles. It was a complete game changer and kept me on the field longer. Those, I can say it right now. If you don't have those two pieces of equipment, you should have them. You should have them. You shouldn't go on the field without them. They change the game completely. You guys have been playing airsoft longer than I have, but even with the paintball stuff, you had to have a good pair of goggles, and they always fogged up.
Yeah.
They always fogged. This thing is just phenomenal.
Well, and Xfog, who has been on our channel and been on our conventions,
Yep.
That I would agree. But also when people ask, what should I get because I fog?
That's it.
There's an answer, and it's usually the number one answer. And I still feel people go, $100 is too much.
Yeah.
It's really not, guys. $100 to change how you play, so you don't have to stop.
Exactly.
Like that's.
I have the two. I have the magnets on my
Yeah.
goggles too, and that's wideeye.com. It's 2 little magnets, one on the inside, one on the outside. They hold each other, and they've got felt on there, and you just wipe. But that's the kicker. You have to stop and wipe.
Yeah.
You've got to stop and wipe. And if you're in a tactical engagement and the enemy's coming, you might not have time to wipe. So I got them on there because even when the X-Fog's blowing, I sometimes still sweat through them. So yeah, and you can do that too. There's a million pieces of gear out there. Everybody's like, I gotta have this for my gun. I have this for gun. You've got to have that Sidewinder speed loader. And if you don't have, if you've got a different weapon, there are companies out there that 3D print so you can load the different mags, the adapters.
Yep, absolutely.
Yep. And those are that was a complete game changer. Like I said, as soon as that came out and we started, remember the big shotgun thing you used to whack that thing?
And people loved it. They were like, "Oh, that's great!
This is unbelievable." Everybody's got it in a scabbard on their back. And then this thing came out and it sits in your standard magazine pouch, and all of a sudden you just go like this, click, and you're reloaded. It's phenomenal.
I thought those came out back to back, like that freaking.
It wasn't very far apart.
A couple weeks later, the Sidewinder came out. I was like, "What the hell do I have this thing for?"
Yeah.
And if I'm right, I want to say that I actually think we saw that at SHOT Show, and we're like, "Oh, that's interesting." But I kind of poo-pooed it, if I'm being honest, because I was like, "Okay, what is this?" And then maybe a year and a half later, it was just everybody had one.
DT Downtown Brown had that one, and I got one of those speed loaders, and I remember this is great. And then you'd set them and do it again and again. And then at Odin, I saw that Odin, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Remember, you and I went back and forth after I wrote the review. You were like, I want you to take it apart, Rich. And I'm going, it's gearless. It says it's gearless. What's inside? I want to know how it makes it work. And I'm going, well, I just spent some money on it, so I'm not going to tear it apart.
Well,
for you.
I mean,
Hilarious.
I fragged one early because Odin's came out very similar time frame to like the EPM ones, the original EPM ones, which game changer in a different way. But the original run of EPM ones were not great.
No.
Like you had to preload them, and like in order to load them all the way, you had to use a hand loader on top. I broke the gears in my Odin, and then the only thing you could get were 3D printed, and they were not suitable. So everything has evolved, but like that is now, as you said, just for convenience, it's a standard piece of gear from your point of view.
At least on the Milsim battlefield, so you don't want to run out.
Any questions from chat or anything?
I didn't see it as. What does this say? Rich has to matching everything. Yeah, they're talking about my uniforms.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Again, that's how you're known.
Dan Magnuson, he's putting it up there. Stop in my store. I have fog goggles, Op4 Airsoft in Elk River.
There you go.
If you guys have never been up there, Dan's got a very nice store. Dan, little shout out to Op4 Airsoft.
I'm talking a lot.
No.
In previous interviews, Alex's wife said I talk too much, which, as everybody knows, this is 100% true. If there's a thing that I'm known for, it's for talking too much.
She didn't say you talk too much.
They tell me
you
that
talk
when
a
I'm
lot.
on the field of battle too. Yeah. Just listen. You'll know what Rich is up to. He goes and does it.
Yeah, that is usually how I was finding you, and I knew you weren't near me if I couldn't hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, I got something. You know, you said you're doing the road trip stuff.
Yep,
to these big games.
Yep. It's a lot of fun. Me and my,
what's like you guys like? What's like a standard like?
Oh gosh,
You know,
we'll
let's go to breakfast.
yeah, Waffle House. Waffle House. You
Oh,
gotta go to
Jesus.
Waffle House.
Like what's the like like one of these questions like a tradition, airsoft tradition. There's got to be some type of tradition. When
Waffle
you're
House in the
doing
morning.
these
Yeah,
road
we do
trips.
that.
You got you really figure
Ryan
out.
Voigt won't join us. He doesn't like Waffle House.
I mean,
You know, with me, Tim, Rich, we like to travel. We like to find the steakhouses. We like to find the restaurants that got the good craft beer. We like to
your
do
craft
that
beer.
kind of
You
stuff.
always are posting a pic from your trip. Not even airsoft trips. Whenever you're traveling, there'll be a craft beer shown.
And when I try something new, I'm a amber lager guy. So that's one of the things we like to go out and look for. You know, guys who don't know what an amber lager is, Budweiser is your original amber lager.
So it's very hoppy and dark.
Not really.
Yeah, that's every.
Are you an IPA guy?
No, I just know that I used to work in breweries, and like, oh, we got the best beer. Let me guess, it's dark and hoppy.
Yes and no. The darkest beers are called stouts.
Well, I don't drink, but when I did, that's all I ever heard.
Good for you. I don't touch the hard stuff anymore, but I drink a lot of beer. We love the beer. So Rich Paletti doesn't either anymore.
But yeah, anyways, like I said, traditional, like you would.
Waffle House in the morning. We've got to do Waffle House and Buc-ee's. We all stop at Buc-ee's.
Yeah, me and Gabe did that.
Yep.
Because like you said, you do the action, after action report. That only goes so far when you start in Texas and you're going back to Minnesota.
After action review.
You can't really.
I've been laxing on that. I usually get down and I'll write an after action report afterwards. But my problem is even my best guys, they're not reading them. They're not reading them. Yeah. We're not discussing them at length like we used to, and I've just kind of gotten away from that. And I want to start doing it again, but it takes time. It'll take me 3 to 4 weeks to write a really good one. And you guys can go on the Pork Chop Platoon page on Facebook. If you go under files, there's at least 100 after action reports that I wrote. Take a look at them. There's some really good ones in there that we put together. I try to cover all of our actions. You guys have noticed on my helmet, there's always a GoPro. Yeah. It's always running. I record everything from start X to end X, and I can go back and review everything. So
the thing I might offer is, just because I've started to do it, is I start streaming not streaming. I'm starting to record in the car.
Yep. Coming back.
And sometimes it's just my phone. But I'll just put the phone on me, and if I've got an hour to drive home, I just start talking about what I liked. I'm not always posting it, but that's how I'm keeping ahead of that's how I'm saving my current, the fresh ideas, the fresh thoughts.
Yep.
That might be something you might like if you're going to do a drive home. Think about it, talk about it a little bit, and then just throw up your camera, put it on the dash,
That's
you
one
know?
thing Ryan and I
Yeah.
like to do. Ryan is Baker 7. He's my first sergeant. Him and I are always discussing what we liked, what didn't we like, what did we think about this aspect or that aspect. We always talk about it, and he takes notes or I take notes. We're usually just shouting them on the phone. We don't record anything, but we're taking notes. That's a great idea to actually just mount the phone in the
I
car
only
and
say
just
this is
record
passing
all.
it to another old dog. Like
Mm-hmm.
we're streaming. We're the first people to do a live stream on Facebook. That is not true, of course. Like people are doing these all the time, but there's technology that does make it easier. I'm literally a tablet kind of guy when I'm doing a lot of my notes, but I am finding it easier to do. Hey, I'm just gonna stream of consciousness into a camera.
Yep.
And people like that.
Post your thoughts.
Yeah.
And I always tell everybody, don't hold back. I don't care if you had a good time or a bad time. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Tell me what you thought. I really want to know.
This is a concept that I've taken from professional, but how do you feel about both how you take feedback and how let's say Third Coast, like the places you play, do you find feedback is an important thing?
Yes. And so does Third Coast. If you've got an issue or you've got something that you want to say to them, they're very open to dialogue. They will sit down and have Sal will talk the whole game with you if you want to. But it's not just Sal, it's the whole staff. You can tell them, hey, you need to do this better. It's a problem. Or we're not doing this enough or whatever it is. They're very approachable. And I find that as a leader, you need to tell me if you think we're doing something wrong. Rich Paletti, who is one of my platoon leaders at Pork Chop and Baker, incredibly intelligent. The kid he should be an officer. He's in the Air Force Reserve right now. He did 3 years active. He knows how the game should be played, and he's really good at providing feedback. So is Ryan. Ryan is really good at providing feedback. You need to be approachable. You need to have the trust of your players. If they have an issue, they want to come to you. I want them to tell me what it is without fear of anything. And not all leaders in Milsim do that. It's like, this is how we're going to do it, and if you don't like it, tough shit. Well, that happens a lot, actually, and it shouldn't. This is still, above all, a game.
Yeah, and that's right. If you want to demotivate somebody, that's a way to do
Exactly.
it. And I think the key point there is, like Rich is saying, as a leader and from the org's point of view, they want that feedback. But here's my plug to say, give feedback.
Yes.
I don't think, especially, and I'm just going to say to our local community, I don't think you give feedback. Or if you do, you're like, that sucked. That's not feedback, that's a criticism. Feedback is, that sucked because of the teams were too out of whack. And then maybe you wind that back and don't say that sucked, because now that automatically puts you in an adversarial point of view. It's, hey, this game didn't work out well because we were too one-sided. They had all the vehicles. They had all the, the machine guns. They had there's a way to share your feelings that makes the experience better for everybody.
Correct. And like I said, Third Coast is very approachable. I want to be very approachable, but in the end, we need to remember that you guys, the players, you're customers. This is a business.
Yeah.
Your customer is always right. Feedback is important. Ratings are important. We can't go out there and make this game better without you. So if you're not having fun, let us know, and we'll figure out a way to make it better. Or, if you're having a blast, tell us that too, because we're going to make it even more fun the next time.
And here's where I'll post this out to my more graduates. Only certain people know what that is. Feedback is a gift. So give it.
Yep.
Couple questions before we do our closing. What is a rule that you think is a valuable rule that people don't think about? An underrated rule that, in order to make a game work well. And I'm going to ask you the converse of that. A rule that maybe is too thrown out. What is a rule that is super important in Airsoft from your point of view, and a rule that maybe we could do less of?
You know what? The safety rules, when it comes to player safety, they're always getting broken. And even at some of the best refereed games, somebody's always cheating when it comes to safety, whether they've got mesh goggles on or they're wearing goggles without a helo kit or something like that. And I don't feel that those safety rules are enforced enough. And that's everywhere I go.
Mhm.
There's always people that are not following the safety rules. They're doing stupid shit. And it happens all the time. And I call it out when I see them. Ryan, he hates it when people are test firing their weapons in the safe zone when they're not on the field. And it happens at every event. And to me, stupid shit like that, it happens, and it should never happen, but I don't think anything is being done about it. I can complain up and down about that, but yeah, when it comes to safety rules, when it's about the safety of you or the people beside you, you shouldn't break that. And I don't think that that's policed enough in anywhere that I play. I haven't seen it. There's always somebody breaking the rule, and if you catch them, there isn't enough being done to stop it.
Mhm.
So, as far as what was your other half of
The
that?
rule that maybe people stress too much on, that is in the grand scheme of things isn't as important.
Oh, jeez.
Now that could be a big thing because there's lots of rules, or like
There's so many rules.
mid
out there
caps
and
only.
everything,
You know
and-
that I would include that kind of thing.
Well, mid caps and high caps. I really don't know. I mean, there's so many rules out there. There's really nothing out there that anybody takes for granted. Yeah, I don't have an answer for you on that one. Yeah.
What's next for Rich? Rich Cuddihy coming. So we're in November 2025. We're closing out the year. What do the next couple months look like for you? What are you planning?
Local fields for the rest of November, December, and January. I'm hoping to
And
get
you're a
on
winter
that
player.
I'm hoping to get into that multicam Alpine that I got.
Oh,
that I
that's the
spent-
reason. Yeah,
That,
yeah,
that
okay.
damn outfit was more than $1,000.
To his
Probably
wife,
shouldn't-
he's
you
kidding.
probably
He meant
shouldn't
10.
have
And
said
I
that.
even have boots that match that outfit.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Did you buy a gun too to match that?
Yeah. As a matter of
Did you
fact,
paint
Tim Roloff is putting a Polar Star Kythera in it right now, and I wish you'd get it done, Tim. Yeah, I have a white. Yeah, it's in the picture. Yeah, I have a white gun. Yeah.
Of
I
course
also
a
have
white
that
gun.
multicam Alpine tape, that wrap tape.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that's going to be it for the next 2 months. I'm hoping to get out and play some snow airsoft in the snow, especially at Twin Cities Airsoft. They've got everybody else is closed.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a lot of fun. And
They
then
remodeled their field a little bit.
Yep. Let's not even get started on it. TCA, you need to change the new place.
Emerald City has
Emerald
changed.
City.
Like last time
A
I looked,
little
it,
bit, yep,
it
yep.
had changed quite a bit. But yeah,
Has it?
Yeah,
I
no,
haven't been there since that
Darren
one.
Darren is doing a lot of work to it just to make sure. For those that don't know, Twin Cities Airsoft leased a different chunk of land from one of the local farmers.
Yep.
But he doesn't own it; he's just leasing it. So no permanent structures, nothing permanent. Obviously, he's not going to invest that money. But I think the first time we played it, there was just some water containers on it, and we got murdered.
Yes,
It was
yes.
murdered. If you're playing from containers to Emerald City, it's not a great time.
Was it July? Go to my July Twin Cities Airsoft Facebook page, and yeah, you could see how beat up we got on that
Feedback
game.
was
Yes.
given. I'll
Yes.
say that.
Yeah.
But I do know it's changed, and Darren's put a lot into that. So that's the next couple winter months locally.
We'll
but
see what happens. Yeah, December and January will be the winter games, and then 3 mil sims back to back to back. Operation Sirius Viking, that is at the Guardian Center in Perry, Georgia. That's coming up quick, guys. It'll get here before you know it. So if you're going with me or want to go with me, reach out to me and let me know.
I think it's like February 20th.
Yep.
It's in February.
Then we've got, I think is it Iron Dagger? Or I forget the name of them. There's so many of them.
That one in North Carolina.
Yeah, where is it?
Well-
There it is, 2026 events. So it is Iron Fury, and that one's going to be at Kerr Lake State Park in North Carolina in the Hibernia region. It's a big, huge lake up there, and they play on, I think it's, what is it? It's 120 acres.
Cool.
Paved roads, some structures are there. They're all closed up or whatever, but the bathrooms were open for us. That's a great one. And then I'll be home for the convention in March, the Midwest Airsoft Convention here at in Brooklyn Park. Stonebreaker 12 at GTI Legion. I think you guys are going to join us for
We're going
that.
to join you for that one.
Yep. And that's May 1, 2, 3 in 2026. And then probably right after that would be Sky Shield up at Calumet Air Force
Mir
Station.
Sky Shield, yeah,
Yep.
up in the UP.
Yep. And if GAG is a different day, they've been on the same day the last
Yeah.
couple of them, I'll do the GAG 26.
Is that in May or is that?
Yep,
That's in
May
May,
23rd.
yeah.
So, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not sure, and
Mhm.
I actually, if Alex Padarakis is watching from Mir Tactical, I know I have to call you. I apologize. I've been preparing for this, but like, yeah, sometimes it's hard to coordinate. There are so many games happening. You just got to pick your dates, and every year, so like locally, Darren with Twin Cities Airsoft, he posted his 2026 schedule last month. I think it was.
Yep,
I think it was October, maybe
Yep.
late September, because at some point you just gotta put your flag in the ground first.
Mhm.
So
Alex Teralt, if you're Adam Teralt, if you're watching, you need to be at the con. We want you at the con this year. Don't be bailing out again. Don't. Yeah, their schedule should come out. We should see it February or March.
Yeah.
I don't get together with Travis much anymore from Big Lake. Is he still operating?
oh yeah,
Is he still
absolutely,
open?
yeah, absolutely.
Travis, I miss you.
Yeah, he has his regular games.
Yep.
And then 2 games this year, he had local teams run the games for him. Larger games, both. I should know all this information. I don't, and I apologize.
Night Stalkers.
The Night Stalkers ran the first game, but then Tom, I don't remember Tom, your last name, they ran a second game. So like 2 different orgs ran bigger games.
Yep.
Both well received. Both had, if I'm being honest, Milsim more related rules as far as vehicles and pyro and stuff like that. So good stuff.
Good get in there.
Dan
Yeah.
mentioned Crossfire too.
So you guys had mentioned some other things in that. Well, that's the plans for the next there. If you're watching and you want to go to any of these events with me, please reach out to me on Messenger. I'm more than approachable. We can make accommodations for you guys to come along if we have to take 2 vehicles or 3 vehicles or what have you. We've done that multiple times. I've got a trailer that we pull. We can put gear on it, gear in there. So if you're interested in going, let me know. But reach out quick. Planning starts months in advance, and they just come up on you. So I'm more than happy to bring anybody to a national Milsim game.
Yeah.
So please.
And Alex and I are going to start joining Rich a little bit more as we have capacity for doing it. So I think you'll see a little bit more of a local push towards some of the larger games again. Both Mirrors games, Third Coast games, things at Action Sports, Wisconsin as well. Have you been out to Action Sports other than for like an AMS game? Have you been out? For
I've played open play there a couple times.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a great one. I love Action. I think that's one of the better fields.
I wish it was just a little bit bigger.
I wish it was a little bit closer.
You know, we had the AMS game, and I don't want to rip on them, but it just there was too many tickets sold. There were too many people on that field that first day, and it just
Were we there for that one?
Yeah, I think you were. This was what, Northern Front.
I am not going to say anything.
I understand.
I
like
have
Bo.
stories.
I love Bo and everything, but that game was way too many people for
and
that.
I actually
that field.
think that because Action Sports Wisconsin and Boston has also posted their 2026 schedule. And
Is it up? Yep.
And I do believe it might have said American Milsim Northern Front on that.
That's
So
okay. That one I probably won't partake
They might be
in,
returning. So, but for those people looking for a closer Milsim event, that might be something.
Yep.
There's a good way. Entry
And
level.
and I shouldn't say never say never. I mean, I like Bo, the owner of AMS.
Yes.
We've spoken at LinkedIn. The owner of Action Sports, Chris. Yeah, we've spoken a couple of times too. Don't get me wrong, guys. I had a bad experience there, but it's still a great place to play. So don't allow that decision or my personal feelings for that event to factor in your decision. If it's a Milsim, go and play. Go and play. By all means, you may enjoy it. You may think it's the greatest thing ever.
And on top of that,
experience.
well, and like this is where like my experience at one of the Northern Fronts wasn't great, and those who were around me can tell the stories. It was actually quite shocking, but that's that one game.
Yep.
And I feel like
one time.
Just like if you're going to watch a new show on Netflix, you got to get 3 episodes in. You got to give it at least 3 episodes to realize whether or not you like it or not.
Sure.
That's kind of how a Milsim game is. Ideally, you go and it's great. But if it's not, did you give feedback? Did they take the feedback? but also try it again.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
give it a year or two. Give it some time. So like, if AMS returns to Action Sports, I will. If my schedule's free, I'll probably do it for no other reason than I like to support Chris and
Yep.
Paul at Action Sports.
I could be talked into
and,
joining.
right?
Yeah,
It's
with
just-
the right people, it's just
well,
fun
and that's
to
the
play.
other thing.
Yep.
Minnesota's community is really nice. If we can get together and do that kind of stuff, it's always great.
I like that game.
I don't do drama.
Yeah. Hang
Yeah,
on.
Dan,
You
that
don't do
makes
drama.
sense.
Come on. All right.
Questions? If anyone's got questions.
Anybody got
Does
any
anybody have any
questions?
questions?
Do you have questions, Rich?
We're probably going to do about
No.
10 more minutes since we had our initial recording didn't get live streamed. We did figure out what that was, so for future streams, sorry.
Do you guys remember? I was reminiscing here. The bomb game at the Milwaukee Project.
Oh yeah.
That was most likely my most favorite memory of all time. And for me, figuring out that code and then low crawling out there and disarming that bomb.
Was
with
it the
that guy
big
next to
bomb
me.
that?
Yes, making the
I
noise.
can't remember who invented it.
I don't remember who did that
Heartless
one.
Bastards. Was it them?
His name. He saw the video afterwards. And
I can't-
Was just was on. That was my favorite moment of all time. Was we found enough of those clues hidden in that mall to figure out that
Yeah.
code and then to assault that objective. We had what's his name? The big guy from used to work at one of the airsoft places. He went out there and they secured the
Tiny
place.
from
No, I can't remember his name. He hasn't played. He went to Operation Bulldog and Starburst with me a bunch of times.
This was at Milwaukee.
Yeah,
I must have been
they went
sleeping.
out there and got that place right
I
off
must
the
have been
bat.
sleeping in the parking lot.
Yeah, but that being able to go out there and disarm that bomb and the video from 3 different sources. But there's a video on my Facebook page of it if you guys check it out, or on the YouTube page too. That was my all-time favorite moment. You guys were there.
Yeah.
You're in the video. We're talking at the end. Yep, the guy who was standing over covering my ass. That was you telling me that.
Nice.
That was a great game. Ryan and I did something similar with that bomb. Pissed off Greg Brothers. God rest his soul.
Yeah.
We were.
It was not hard to piss off Greg Brothers, though,
yeah.
let's be honest.
Well, he gave us orders to not let the enemy get the bomb, so Ryan and I had it hidden in a thing up in the top of Nopaming. And they were assaulting, and it was obvious they were going to get in there, so we just walked in there and detonated the damn thing. So,
What was your first
And-
mill sim?
the team was pissed because they had to disarm it. And the first thing that Greg said was, "Well, you guys failed." And that was Brian Scar.
Oh, yeah,
Scar.
Brian,
He
yeah.
was pissed.
Not
Oh,
bad,
he
man.
was pissed. And then Greg, "What are you doing?" He's yelling at us because we did. I said, "You didn't tell us that we couldn't detonate it. You're not supposed to let it go off. They were going to try to disarm it." I go, "Well, they didn't get to do it, did they? We completed our mission, so kiss my ass."
You got a question there.
Oh, that was so off. Same with Cleveland.
What was your first?
My first Milsim game? Bulldog 7 for Airsoft. Bulldog 7 at Fort Hood, Texas. That was a Lion Claws game. And God, I don't know how long ago it was. 15 years ago?
I think that's the funny thing about some of those things. It's even hard to find the dates.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure
Yep,
somewhere there's an appendix, but
I have
was
the
trying to look.
patch.
Yeah, I have old
the
patches that
patches.
I can't remember.
Yep,
If the date wasn't on it, I wouldn't have remembered when it was.
Matt, we were talking about this earlier. Cleveland was the best mall game ever. The Ohio Project, top. Definitely one of the best games I've ever played. That was where we met. He was just a kid. What was it? Airsoft Alphonse.
Oh yeah.
He one of the objectives that we had to do was there's big, huge. I guess it was like a koi fish pond at one time. But it was filled with this black, brackish water, and the objective was right out in the middle of it. And Airsoft Alphonse, on orders from Matt Brown to secure it, he jumped into that freaking pond and went all the way out there and
Gross.
grabbed that
I can only
objective and
imagine
brought
what
it
it looked
back.
like.
Yeah. Did I ever play at the facility? Is that what is the facility? Is that the indoor place that was in Northeast?
No,
Nope, no.
this was like an indoor place. I never played it too. I think I was at the tail end.
No, I never did. I know. I don't even know that I've heard of it.
And who asked that question?
Dan Magnuson did. Yeah.
So the facility was that the one run
Wasn't it
by
Hudson?
what's that?
Wasn't it in Hudson or?
It was in Delano, I thought. Or,
Oh boy, no.
Because Devil Ops Airsoft was the one that was right on the
No,
border of
He says
Minneapolis.
Wisconsin. He says
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Oh, yeah, right over the border. Yes, that is, yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah.
It was the warehouse. We did the MAA did a monster game there.
Yeah.
We did a couple others.
You know what? I remember being invited to a game or something that was going on there, and they ended up closing.
Yeah, that was one of the scenarios, and we're going a little history tangent here, where the guy who ran that, good guy, he knew the person or was related to the person who owned a large warehouse that was used for storage. He got half or a chunk of that warehouse that he was able to use, but at some point, the people who owned it wanted to use it for storage again, and I remember there was a quick emergency MAA caravan out to that facility one night on like a Thursday to pick up all our stuff.
How do I missed this here. Rich, I need a new pork chop patch. What do you mean a new one?
All right, we're gonna start our close.
Hunt me down.
Yeah.
Hunt me down.
Can you scroll up just so you can catch that for him? Alex.
Let's see.
Just
right
scroll
here.
up a little bit. People are.
I got it right there. I think I
Yeah,
missed the
Zilla.
question.
Yeah, Zilla was his call sign.
Oh, Jeff, yeah, I got one for you.
Oh, Jeff did the big one.
Yep,
The
yep,
big
yep.
post.
Okay.
Good to see you, Jeff.
Awesome.
All right. What we're going to do is we're going to start closing down.
Zilla.
And what we have done is I have 10 rapid fire questions. I already gave him a heads up on this, but for everybody else, what this is 10 questions that are for short answers. No explanation needed. Gut reaction. Rorschach test. What is your favorite camo?
Multicam black.
Ooh, spicy.
Yes, yes.
Do you carry a backup on the field?
A backup what?
Backup weapon. Do you carry pistols?
I carry a pistol, yes.
Do you carry a pistol? Okay. What is your number one airsoft pet peeve?
Overshooting.
Overshooting.
Yep.
What is your favorite thing about airsoft?
The thrill of the hunt.
Is airsoft a hobby or a sport?
Oh my God, it's much more important than both of that. It's a sport. Yep.
What would your holy grail location be to play?
Oh boy.
Be as wild as you like.
You know what? There are some abandoned villages in the United States. If we could get a whole town, yeah,
Whole town.
yeah, that'd be great.
Go big.
Yep, yep.
What's one thing that you would like to see added to airsoft?
I want to see armor involved. I actually tanks, APCs, that kind of stuff.
True armor.
Yep, true armor. That would be great. More helicopters too, but yeah, true
Yeah.
armor. True armor. It's probably never going to happen, but yeah, true armor.
Yeah, the safety aspects of tanks on field could
Yeah.
be something.
Yep, yep.
What's one thing you'd like to see removed from airsoft?
Drones.
Nice. What word or phrase best describes your airsoft mindset?
The phrase airsoft is not a matter of life or death. It's much more important than that.
And finally, what motivates you to keep playing airsoft?
You guys, all my friends who play, all the people that follow the Pork Chop Platoon, my varsity, you guys know who you are. You guys motivate me. I want to be that player that you guys look up to and follow on the field, and you guys motivate me to do that, to do just that. So, my friends and my teammates. Yep.
Rich, is there anything you'd like to share as a closing statement from
Yes.
your experience in time?
I have said this before, guys. We are trying to improve the player base. We are trying to grow the sport. If you are interested in airsoft and you have questions, come to me. Come to any of us. Anybody who plays the game as much as we do, and we'll be happy to help you out. Do not be afraid to approach us.
Great. And that's a great transition to, I'll send out a reminder as we're closing down, that the Midwest Airsoft Convention is Saturday, March 28th at the Brooklyn Park Armory in Minnesota. We have a save the date kind of post now. We'll be doing more posts as we get more towards January, mostly because airsofters have trouble planning more than a week in advance, and we recognize that. So, but we will start promoting that more. That will be an event. Rich will be there. We're hoping to get some of the larger MilSim organizers, as we always are, to come to the event to pitch their idea, or pitch their events. We'll have retailers, other things like that. So, save the date, March 28th, 2026. Anything else from you, Alex?
No.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks for having
Yeah,
me.
thank you, Rich. Community, thank you for joining us. Thank you for accepting the technical mishap at the beginning. If you have follow-up questions, we will be posting this video. This video will be online. We'll be posting this on our Instagram, our Reddit page, our Discord, so that you can watch it over and over again to learn everything you can about Rich Cuddihy. If there's someone else you'd like to see us talk to, or something you'd like to see us talk about, Alex and I are thinking about things. We're hoping to do at least one a month. We're coming into the holidays, so maybe a new object, a new item. It just gives me an excuse to buy something else for no reason other than to review it. But thank you again for joining us tonight. Thank you again to Rich and Alex. Have a great night. Hopefully Rich will see you on a field for snow winter games. Maybe not going to see my Hawaiian ass on a field. But other than that, have a wonderful Friday night, and I hope some of you got out to play this weekend. See you next time.